Coming at you from Scratch Wolf Studio. It's that time again to rage across the internet. Your very favorite World of the Apocalypse podcast. And I'm your host, Porter. Sitting across from me, he's the man with the tin star. It's Mr. Daniel Tyson.
Hey, everybody.
And over to my left, she's a regular reservoir dog. It's the Uncanny M.
Hello, hello.
And over to my left, is the man in charge of 4 rooms, Mr. CJ McCall.
Howdy, y'all.
And this again is Rage Across the Internet. It's the show where we discuss all aspects of World of the Apocalypse, from storyteller to player, novice to elder. How we doing, everybody?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good, all in all.
Yeah, it's a nice sleazy Sunday.
And how's you, Porter?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nice intro.
Little Tim Roth for you.
Fuck yeah, I was waiting. I was like, who's going to pick this up? You said Tin Star instantly, I knew. And then you said Reservoir Dogs. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, it's good to see everybody.
You too, brother.
And yes, here we are back with another episode of Rage Across the Internet. If it's your first show, well, we definitely hope you enjoy. I think we're going to have a good time today.
Always.
If it's not, welcome back. Before we get into things today, because we got a fun one today. We're going back to the practical Theurge. But you knew that because you could read the title. But before we do that, it's time for a little segment we like to call This Week in Bullshit.
Hey-o.
Daniel Tyson, what's going on this week in bullshit?
Oh, well, we've been doing a lot of the games. A lot of the games recently.
What does that mean?
The gaming team, and looking at our well of games, and I've been looking at the list of games we've been doing within the last few years, and one of the games we used to do that we kind of stopped playing has gotten a bit of an update, and it got me a little curious. Do you remember The First Descendant?
Yes.
It had a massive update, and it got me curious. So I kind of looked it up, and this has been some new characters added. There's been some new mods updated. There was a pretty big deal, so I haven't really gone back to playing.
But you're about to.
I might. The game has been uninstalled, but I might go back.
I feel like it's possible to get it back on your computer. Some sort of method to like
reinstall?
Reinstall? Yeah,
reinstall,
something like that.
So, yeah, I've looked up some information. Like, I played a lot of it compared to everybody else in our little group.
No, you did, and I'll tell you, I played it for as long as I did for you.
Yeah, no.
And then I lucked out because my graphics card wasn't having it. That was before I had to switch, before the PC crapped out.
Right.
So I can't anymore. I can barely run it. Oops.
It was definitely a gacha game. There was a lot of grinding.
I said it's not even really a gacha game at that point, but grinding definitely.
There was so much grinding thing, and if you wanted anything good, you had to grind the shit out of it, or you pay the money. I don't want to pay the money for a free game. I just don't.
It's fine. I thought he was going to say Dead by Daylight, and I was going to laugh.
Laugh or kick me out?
Fuck it. Which is funny, right? Because I was like the president of Dead by Daylight for a while. Yes, you were.
Yep.
And man,
we were playing it every night for a long time.
It was a lot of fun for a long time, and then they fucked up too much. Like, when I turn on something, it's fucking over. It takes a lot for me to turn on you, but once I do, forget about it.
Yeah.
I remember, like I said, I did a lot of grinding for the game, and there were I wanted to be good. You guys are way better at those kinds of games than I am. So, like, to keep up with you guys, like, I have to get this, because if I want to be as good as you, I have to get that kind of that stuff right there. I have to be this character because he's way better than anything I fucking have. So,
honestly, Danny, you probably should be better at that game than you give yourself credit for, since you've got a lot of experience with other similar games, since it's just Korean Destiny.
Yo, I know.
Honestly, I wish they would have called it that. That's a better name.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my kind of game.
Probably not.
Wasn't that the game where, like, the big threat was, like, Mick or something?
Greg,
that's right. It was Greg.
Greg.
You're fighting all these, like, space alien, like, giant shrimp people or whatever, and, like, their fucking supreme commander is Greg.
It was one of the first bosses, yeah. It was pretty funny.
Perfect.
I think it was like the first boss you actually get to fight and like becomes a reoccurring boss every now and then. But the fact that it was this weird like cyborg alien thing, just named Greg.
Greg.
Admiral Bethorkra! I can send the fleet. Greg! Get the humans. Get him, Greg. I love it. Shit, now I might check it out. I want to see Greg again.
Oh my.
Oh, CJ, what do you got?
Unlike, some other weeks where we have a lot of like real fun bits of this week in bullshit we can talk about, I've been dealing with some actual fucking bullshit just across the board for the past few weeks, it feels.
Yeah, you have.
Like, it's been the case of like one thing and then the other. And a little bit of corporate incompetence mixed with just general incompetence from other people.
Yikes.
Yeah, like starting off, our bank is going to be switching the system we use for everything come the 17th. That's 2 weeks. We were supposed to already be on this October of last year. And about 30% of all the functions that need to be there aren't.
So it's kind of a mad dash to get everything where it's supposed to be.
Yep. And because of, whoever is in charge of this upgrade fucking up, we've been having to stay after an hour every single fucking day to train on a system that is a 50-50 chance on whether or not it's not going to work.
That means it's 50-50 that it will work.
Yep. But all the while still doing our actual work and getting fucking bitched at if we don't do enough training if we've just been working because we closed just an hour ago at the latest. And so all that on top of fucking recently or semi-recently got a fucking CPAP machine just barely didn't meet the compliance stuff so I could have insurance cover it, so I had to pay it all. Or give it back.
That's the worst.
I paid it all after a total of 2.5 hours on the phone being bounced around departments trying to figure out where I have to go to pay this thing off. I finally got it paid off after a 30-minute conversation with a lady who was honestly extremely helpful and did not deserve half of the malice that I wanted to give her at that time. But, got it taken care of. She even, removed my card from their files so they couldn't charge me again. And here I am. This is home free. I never have to worry about this thing again because it actually works and I don't have to give it back. A week later, all this training shit's going on, and I get a call from somebody in the fucking payments department saying they never received any paperwork or any information that the payment went through. And this payment was supposed to be $450. That I already fucking paid. And Porter got a nice live stream of reactions that was keeping me from trying to make this lady kill herself.
It's true. I offered to call in for him.
So all that building up until finally it's fucking done, and she said she was going to do an information request to start looking into this stuff to see, hey, let's figure out what happened. Do you actually still owe? I'll give you a call back. It's been 3 days now. No call back, and I have a feeling she doesn't want to call back to admit she was wrong.
Yeah, because she probably looked at the bank transactions, sees that one came from your bank under your name, and somebody probably just didn't click the right button.
And I mean, really, that's the only
before
solution.
Calling me.
Yeah.
You guys know how hard it is for me to lose my calm.
Yes.
I've never seen it.
Porter has seen it now twice over the course of these phone calls. The great part about this haul and me losing my calm so much is it's provided some great inspiration for character stuff for the game that I'm working on. I am sorry, players, just in case.
Oh, shit.
I'm glad the CPAP's working. Congratulations on getting a little bit more sleep. I say a little bit because I know how you fucking feel.
But yeah, no, it's just aside from that, not much going on this week to report of. Just figured, hey, might as well vent a little bit about some bullshit.
Absolutely. And what you got?
Well, this whole week I was sick. Like last weekend, I had like a little bit of a head cold. Not so bad though. Just one day with like a horrible headache. But come Tuesday night, I had like a scratchy throat, and I thought maybe, it's just the dry house. I also lit the fire downstairs, so I maybe inhaled a little bit of smoke, so I have a scratchy throat. Followed by up all night, just not being able to sleep because it feels like my throat is on fire. Didn't get any sleep. Wednesday morning, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get ready for work. I know, that's way too early. But I'm waking up to get ready for work, and I'm like, no, I can't go in. I had to call in because I could barely talk. I felt like I was dying. Yeah, then I spent the rest of the week just playing Crusader Kings 3 on my computer with no headphones because the headphones were hurting my head from the sinus pressure. But I got a lot of CK3 playing in, so.
Any fun quotes from CK3 that you can bring up? Because I know it's a great game for those.
I don't have any quotes off my head, but...
she didn't have the headphones on, so she didn't hear anything.
Well, you don't hear anything much at all in that game. That's why I chose to play it. It's mostly reading. Oh, no, I do remember one.
Oh, here we go.
I do remember one. I don't know it word for word, but I was throwing a tournament. And I had clicked on the temple because my person is very pious. So I was like, I'll visit the temple, see what's going on there. And my knights were in there getting drunk in the chapel.
As they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they burst in and so I sent them on their way as lovable scamps. I was like, oh, you lovable scamps, get out of here. And then I prayed. Yeah.
Well, see, I think the problem is you should have just borrowed CJ's CPAP machine. You would have been fine.
What?
Danny had something in mind there.
It would have helped you sleep. You're having a hard time sleeping. You would have just borrowed CJ's CPAP machine. It helped you sleep.
When was I having a hard time sleeping?
Did you not say that?
Oh, I guess a while ago when I was describing my symptoms of illness, where it hurt to breathe, which I don't think the CPAP machine would help because that is going to force air into the areas that hurt.
And you definitely don't want to force it in where it hurts.
Clearly, Danny, not a doctor.
Yeah, Danny's not a doctor. Nope. So moving on, Porter, what do you got for us?
I got, wow. I want to talk about the Muppet Show.
What?
Okay.
Right now, as we speak, and as you guys are listening, 2 weeks ago, perhaps a full month ago, I'm not sure the schedule. Disney Plus, because Disney owns the Muppets now, has put on I'm going to call it a demo. Maybe we call it a pilot. I think it's a special.
Okay.
A revival of the Muppet Show that allegedly, if this does well, will be turned into, they'll bring the show back proper. And that's really exciting.
Revival.
I love the Muppets, man. The downside is Seth Rogen is attached to this.
Oh, fuck.
What is a Seth Rogen?
He's a douchebag.
Yeah, a douche. God damn it.
Yeah.
I got excited. And now I'm not.
Yeah, it's a little bad. Yeah, I guess I think he's producing. The thing is already up. You can watch it right now.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's currently streaming on Disney Plus. I have not watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the fence because, again, I love the Muppets, but I hate Seth Rogen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, there was a time, right? Freaks and Geeks when he did Knocked Up, you know, and then time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And now he gets into shouting matches and threatens the lives of 13-year-olds on Twitter.
Yeah,
he ain't the
so
guy.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our moments, but Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Let's double down on those, though. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, the Muppet Show, though. You know, I fucking love the Muppets. And so that's kind of exciting. You know, I've seen previews for it. And aside from Seth Rogen's stupid face,
Mm-hmm. So there's some worry, so
I'm
understandable.
a little concerned, but, you know, Jason
It's
Segel.
how involved is he?
Right. I mean, I think about Jason Segel, you know, who co-starred with Seth Rogen.
And-
so they've known each other for a long time. And he did the movie a handful of years ago. And that was pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't revive the franchise, but
No,
it could have. It was probably, I own it. It was fine. But I love the Muppets, man. Fucking.
They're a staple. They're a classic.
Didn't watch the Muppets. I found like characters, like little costumed characters or people with costume hats on as a child really scary.
Mhm.
We went to like Universal Studios and there was people running around with like those big hats on, like talking to the little kids, and one of them came up to me and I was never the same after.
What did he do to you?
He took he stood beside me with his arm around me. Well, it was a her. It was from The Simpsons, the mom from The Simpsons.
You mean Marge Simpson?
Yeah. And it was a couple of The Simpsons there, and they took a picture with me and my brothers, and my dad took the photo, and it was very scary because the heads were very large.
Well, Danny's head's large. You're not scared of him, are you? Actually,
Yeah, but it's not disproportionately large. Like,
what? I beg
it's
to
at
differ,
least
but
taller
that's
than his shoulders. So
That's just a trick of the camera.
yeah, there was just something about it when I was a kid that really scared me. So I didn't watch anything like that because I didn't like it.
You should go back and watch some of it. It's like some really great, honestly, some really great movies that they put out. Like, I'm still remembering, I wore out the fucking VHS tape for the Muppets Treasure Island when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm not too into children's media, so I know Muppets fans might be angry at that, you guys, but
I'm certainly mad.
No.
yeah, he's raging right now. He's breaking things.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
He's threatening me with a knife over the camera. I'm truly terrified.
Actually, I guess I just wouldn't consider. I mean, maybe Muppet like some of those movies, like Muppet Treasure Island, maybe.
Yeah.
But like the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, I don't know if I would consider those strictly children's shows. And certainly the Muppet Show, I wouldn't. It was on prime time, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you kind of need. I think you probably need an appreciation for the Muppets to watch the original Muppet Show today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that was from the 70s, and M doesn't know actors now.
No.
Yeah, and for listeners at home, every time Porter mentions an actor's name, my eyes roll so far back of my head, I think the earth shakes a little bit.
And then she looks it up, which I applaud, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Because wait,
And then
hold
I
on.
look it
Yeah.
When she recovers.
Yeah.
When
like she doesn't know Robert Downey Jr. Fucking Rita Morano is going to be lost, you know.
Fozzie Bear is still my hero.
No, Fozzie Bear's great. Fucking, I think it's season 2 actually, the Muppet Show. We'll move on after, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
They had Milton Berle on,
Oh,
and they did this whole vaudeville thing during Fozzie's segment.
okay.
It was fucking Milton Berle and Fozzie Bear. Come on. It was goddamn beautiful. You got Stadler and Waldorf up in the balcony giving him shit, and Milty's just giving it right back because, it's fucking Uncle Milty. Oh, it was beautiful. Great piece of television.
I will say, mildly connected to the Muppets right now is I, for a while, worked with one of these fucking, at my old job, one of these kids who thought Chris Hansen was the Muppet guy.
I know who Chris Hansen is.
And since that, I can't imagine, like,
We're going full circle right now. Oh, we are. Oh my god.
And it's one of those things of, like, I can't help but imagine some of the videos that he's done recently, like doing cuts away to Stadler and Waldorf heckling the guy.
That's brilliant. But Steve, you've unlocked some deep lore we've never discussed on the fucking show.
Nope.
Oh,
This is some exclusive fucking Wednesday night hangout on our Discord shit.
oh, okay.
Right. Where we, because, we're all fans of fucking,
love
Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking, he does great work. It's a great service. He's out there and they're entertaining as shit. Right. And
Yeah.
so, like, Chris Hansen's a national treasure.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be around forever.
He's getting old.
Yeah. So
We need to give him the elixir of life.
I have suggested in the past that the solution would be to make a Muppet version of him to continue on his work named Chris Henson.
Yeah.
They can continue on with Chris Henson. Hey ho! So, where are you coming to meet a 13-year-old boy, huh? Hey ho!
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Yeah. Hey, have a seat. Yay! No, sir, you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave yet.
That's a bad idea.
Oh, man.
That's
Reading
amazing.
off some of the messages.
Yes, I don't want to do some of those on air.
No.
I have on game night, but I
Game
don't
night, yes. Holy shit.
That's amazing you brought that up. Yeah, that's some actual RAID floor.
Yeah.
So come hang out in the Discord, folks. You get crazy shit like that if you time it right.
Unless you've met him in person, we don't want to see you.
Oh boy.
You've met Chris Hansen in person.
Are you sure about that? There's a lot of people who have met Chris Hansen. That you
Okay,
meet.
you know what I mean.
If he's made you
Bad
take a
ones.
seat, don't.
Yeah. If he's made you take a seat, we don't want to meet you.
Holy shit.
Now, if you know him personally and he wants to come meet us,
Well, Danny,
Danny can go away.
And that's This Week in Bullshit.
there we go.
Oh,
So we do have a show for you today. Again, as you've read the episode, so we do have a show for you today. Obviously, you've read the title of the show, presumably. So we are once again revisiting the Practical Theurge. And today we're talking about rites.
Yeah.
Isn't that correct, Em?
Yes, this is correct. We are speaking of rights.
this is actual.
You're
Yes.
damned accurate. So as we know, rites and rituals are extremely important to the Gara Nation. It's also a section of the game that is often swept aside.
I feel like very swept aside, especially for a lot of maybe even newer storytellers.
And from like my own experience, it's either swept aside or just extremely gamified.
It's kind of brushed over, like this is happening, do the role. It's an integral part of the nation, and it is part of the relationship that Garu have with the spirits.
It's very multifaceted, correct? There are many different types of rites, of course, each with different functionalities. There's stuff from the tribe, there's seasonal stuff, day-to-day things, and
It's one of the big things that, because you are mentioning it, like there are so many of these rites. It's day-to-day stuff, it's seasonal stuff, it's stuff for like special occasions in the Gara Nation. These aren't just magic spells, as I know some players have looked at them. This is actually like religious practices amongst the nation.
it's very true. And I think that's a great way to look at it, which I understand can be a bummer to some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at that point you're looking at it wrong.
I can agree on that.
It's a very... I took some shit from this, actually. I think it was last week. Time of Verse. Oh, it was during one of those aforementioned game nights.
Okay.
I was saying positive things about Jim Cameron's Avatar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took a little shit for it. Yeah,
Okay.
I might still. But there were scenes in there where it's looking at the life in the day-to-day of the Na'vi. There's the seat at the Great Tree where they bring Sigourney Weaver and that whole thing. Mm-hmm. And like there's a great example of a right in front of you.
Yes.
You know, there are practices of that you can really use is a guidepost. Yeah.
And hell, I have an example of like an even like a minor rite that we can see in like modern media of something set in modern times. I've seen clips of it from Yellowstone when Cassidy and the leader of the Native American mayor or governor, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. They do they make an agreement, cut each other's hand with a knife and give the knife to the other as a sort of like mini bonding ritual.
Okay.
Yeah. Towards the end of the series,
yeah, I've only seen it as like a clip here or there, but it's like that right there is a perfect example of like maybe, you know, two packs or two members of different packs who have bonded and are almost like, you know, blood brothers at that point, like forging that deeper connection with the help of the spirits. Like right there, that little seed, amazing inspiration for some minor rites.
Well, and because of that, right? I know today we're going to talk about maybe some punishment rites, some seasonal rites, maybe some tribal rites. It's something I want to do because, you know, it's easy enough to read from a book. Anyone can do that. Mm-hmm. We could recommend books. We can discuss that a little bit, and that's cool too. But I want us to be us about it and make some shit up. Mm-hmm. Make up a couple rites.
Oh, cool.
Because what's in the books isn't all there is.
Right. And, you know, the idea here is, I mean, there's plenty of, you know, it's color to the world, you know, because that world building is important. But also when you're doing rites, some of them aren't super well defined.
Yeah, we've discussed that a few times.
Yeah, we talked about that on the second episode of the Practical Theurge. Mm-hmm. You know, how they're not all super well defined and kind of lighten them up and giving them some more meat. And, you know, if you haven't heard that one, check that one out, certainly.
They also vary dramatically they can vary dramatically from tribe to tribe.
Well, I would say that they should, even if it's not listed somewhere, make it vary from tribe to tribe, because that tribal culture is important, and it's something that I've said time and time fucking again. Mm-hmm. Kind of gets swept under the rug. You know, if you want to hear about the human history of a tribe, you open a tribe book, you can hear all about the history of the humans surrounding those Garu. Not enough about the Garu themselves. And so more tribal color is always a good thing. You know, a little bit more flavor for that. Fucking, that's a great thing. Siege?
It's just like, I can already think of an example of one rite that is very much like very colored by the tribe off the top of my head. I can't remember the name immediately, but it is a Shadowlord rite where you ask Grandfather Thunder for an answer. Like you come out here with a question, it has to be done during a thunderstorm. You offer Rage and Gnosis. You ask the question, and then you are struck by lightning.
Oh, shit.
If Grandfather Thunder believes it is a worthy question, you will be unharmed, you will be healed, and you'll be refunded the rage.
Oh.
If he doesn't believe it is a worthy question,
you have a stutter from now on.
Yep. And you aren't refunded any of the rage or doses, and you get struck by lightning and take the full damage.
That's a little hilarious. In there, seriously, that's clearly something you would have to put some flavor on for another tribe, because I don't see the children, the guy asking Grandfather Thunder.
No.
Yep.
They'll probably go to Unicorn for that. I don't know. It's crazy.
I imagine so, but yikes.
Yeah. But when I was doing the research for this one, reading through some of the rites and about the rites, something that struck me as really interesting were some of the conspiracies, I guess you could say, or the paranoia that some of the Theurges or older Theurges might have about rites. Some of which were, if rites were to cease completely, the entire world would fall into like absolute chaos and disarray. Which, makes a lot of sense because it is so tied into their society, or that they might lose their ability to commune with spirits. That paranoia was kind of littered in through some of the rites. Oh, some Theurges think this. Others think that that's just a superstition. And I was like, I found that really interesting.
Well, and in some cases, I mean, there are a lot of rites. So what are we talking about? But in some cases, it's 100% true. Let's not forget that, to start create a cairn, there is a rite to do that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To maintain moon bridges between two septs, the rite of the open sky must be performed on a yearly basis. So
to maintain a cairn, there's a rite that is done to maintain the cairn
during the moots, and there's a lot of it to know. Their world would fucking collapse pretty well if you just stopped doing rites. Now, if everyone decided we don't want to do Greet the Sun anymore, well, Helios would probably mind. But other than that,
which is all the more reason that we say that these kind of feel like they get swept under the rug sometimes. So let's bring them more to light.
Yeah, they are a big deal to the Garu and should be made a big deal.
Well, so let's start with talking about some punishment rites. Dan?
Okay.
Well, yeah, punishment rites are just just that. So breaking the law, breaking code, laws, breaking the litany. What happens to that Garu when they do those kinds of things? What kind of punishments are there? So we have rights for those specific things. And at the same time, it helps with, the others to show everyone else in the nation to show, hey, this is what happens to you when you don't do the things you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, there have to be repercussions, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The find out to the fuck around portion of our show.
Hey.
And one thing I do know with these rights, specifically with punishment rights, is they are, in my mind, there's that fine line between when are you using a punishment right for something minor versus like a major crime, because, a Garu's being mouthy and talking to his elders in a way that's disrespectful and, breaks like a section of the litany, like the leader might not be challenged during a time of war. Just beat the shit out of the kid.
Yeah, that doesn't need an entire right around it.
Yeah.
Now, if they continue to mouth off after getting the shit beat out of them 10, 20, 30 times, maybe now it's time for a punishment, right? To show that is not acceptable behavior.
If 10, 20, 30 times?
Yikes.
This is a very, some very kind elders in this stage.
Holy shit.
It's a cognizant.
It's a cognizant. It'll take 10, 20, or 30 times until, they perform that rite of ostracism.
My God.
Or what about, if you're caught lying in a story during a moot? That's a big fucking deal in the nation.
That, perhaps, is not something for just some random punishment. We need a punishment right for that. That's not okay.
Well, I think you bring that up. I think that might be the kind of thing that would be great for Voice of the Jackal, right?
So, Voice of the Jackal, that one sticks out to me a lot because it reminds me of one of our old games, because there's actual practical use of it. You use that in one of the games, but how do you do that, right? Voice of the Jackal, that changes the characters, or it changes the character's voice.
Right. Well, that's easy enough, right? You just you plug the nose and there you go, and that's the idea behind that punishment, right? Right. Is you sound like an asshole for a while,
right? And and now everybody else is ostracizing you, and it's kind of like they make fun of you for it, and now everyone knows that you're being punished.
Well, that's the point, right? Like the idea is the voice is shrill and annoying for X amount of time to embarrass them.
Yeah, it's there to shame them, to embarrass them, because they've done something bad. In this case, it makes a lot of sense. If you made up a lie at a moot, your voice changes and nobody's going to take you seriously because what you just said was not to be taken seriously. I feel like that's a really appropriate punishment.
or say you've done something that's like bordering on litany breaking, but not quite there. This is that kind of not quite slap on the wrist, not quite just timeouts. Like, you can survive with this. You can still operate with this, but hey, think about your actions in the futures. Don't do that. It's also one of the very easily practically done ones that you can really play up.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you were to be hit with Voice of the Jackal or you have NPCs, I mean, it's just as simple as you just plug your nose where you're talking. It's about that, you know? Which is, as a player, or rather as a storyteller, if you get hit with, you're going to have to do that.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, it's not that hard to plug your nose and kind of just speak.
Right, but you don't want to do it. Right?
No.
You're sitting at the table like, well, I don't want to do that. Well, too fucking bad. You shouldn't have got hit with the Voice of the Jackal. This is the punishment for it. Now, and that's especially true because there is with Voice of the Jackal, there's a hit to social roles, which, you know, we don't generally do at my table.
Right.
So if you are speaking while you have Voice of the Jackal, you are doing it with your goddamn nose plugged. You are being punished.
Or you're putting on some kind of voice.
Yeah, sure. But that's just the easiest way, and it's easier on the throat, you know?
Yeah. You gotta be doing it. You gotta be doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't get away with the fucking, no.
Yeah, and it's easier not to take them seriously if they're speaking like that, which is kind of the point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of that mechanical aspect of it, of the loss of the social dice, loss of glory and honor points, I have seen people in games either attempt it or actually succeed on weaponizing some punishment rights. I've had a few players that I've been playing with who, out of character or in character, somebody did something they didn't like. And like, let's say the Galliard was hitting on the wrong kinfolk. This isn't an actual example, but it's almost petty enough. They tried having the ST let them do Voice of the Jackal on their packmate to fuck him over.
I love that you brought that up. Punishment rights in general, are between the Garu and the spirits. If that spirit, or if the spirits that are being called on to perform this rite do not find that the crime is a just reason for the punishment, it'll just fail outright. And the person performing the rite will instead have that docked for their glory and their honor for having tried to perform the rite unjustly.
I want to add to that, and this is one of, it's not going to be in the book, right? But the spirits can be pretty fickle and pretty petty.
Yeah.
So this is a great example, a great way to point out that, like, if you are not in good standing with a particular spirit and you're trying to invoke a rite, maybe you've pissed off, maybe you've made enemies in Griffin's Brood.
Oof.
And so now you're trying to do some rites that involve spirits that are associated or in Griffin's Brood. And maybe, just or not, those rites don't fucking work because you've crossed the spirits that you're invoking.
Yep.
Little thing to keep in mind, that it's important to keep in good standings with the spirits.
Yeah.
And it's important to know as a storyteller and as a Theurge what spirits are associated with the things that you're trying to do. It's a huge list, so no one's saying have, the encyclopedia in your brain, but the more you know, right?
Yeah.
The other part to consider that I know, it took a while for me to figure it out whenever I was first learning Werewolf. Rites take time.
They certainly
Not like
can.
just a couple minutes. They take fucking time.
Well, not all of them, but
yeah, like rites like this, because that was one of the things they were trying to do with the ST of, they were trying to perform this rite while the character was sleeping, so they couldn't interrupt it. Yeah. This was a bad player. I am going to say that. This was a bad player who wasn't in this game very long. But they were thinking this was just going to take a couple seconds because they were looking at this like a magic spell.
Which is not what you want to do.
it's not, that's not the case.
Yeah, it would have failed outright anyways. That, and a lot of rites do require more than one individual, even if it's just like an observer or a bystander. Most rites do require more than one Garu.
Well, not because there are personal rites to the smaller rites, like something like Reach the Sun,
Mm-hmm.
which I know we talked about in the Practical Theurge. But, I mean, you know...
Prayer to the prey.
There are the ones that are the smaller scale.
Yeah.
They exist. Fucking, they're too bad.
Yeah. It's one of those things of like, some of these rites, take just a couple seconds to do, like pray for prey, greet the sun, or some can take minutes, hours, potentially. Like, you're not going to do, well, you can, not a good idea, to do like a rapid spirit summoning. That's going to take a little time to do it right. You could do it. Not always advised.
Well, I mean, I think at that point, if you're going to make the roll, you would do roll modifiers.
Yeah.
Based on the preparation or lack thereof. Because I think there should be room based on the Theurge. The
Spending some gnosis.
Well, sure. To make it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there are times, right, when you're in a mission, maybe you need to do something quick on the fly. And I think it's important to have to allow for that. Sure. But there should be conditions surrounding that as well. You know, certainly if you're going to call something, again, as simple as a fire spirit, and we go to that a lot, but it's a very simple spirit. Now, certainly, the rite of summoning is a little more involved than I guess one would initially think, right? We've talked again about correspondence and, and shimonage and shit like that. But you could also, I feel it's perfectly fine with an experienced enough Theurge to just light up your Zippo.
Yep.
Certainly there's more behind the scenes what you're doing, but...
Yeah, what you say, your relationship with the spirits,
right.
The emotions that you're evoking as you call out, all of that
would
have an effect.
And again, I would stress that kind of thing should get easier the more experienced the Garu itself is. And how, quote, talented the Theurge is. When you're just getting started, no, it's going to be an ordeal. And it should be an ordeal.
I agree.
But when you've summoned that fire spirit 6, 7, 8 times, maybe striking a match real quick and going, hey, Bernie, that's the worst. and that should be enough.
Yeah. So, Porter, you had mentioned earlier that a lot of these gifts that are already in the book or mentioned don't have a lot of detail. Voice of the Jackal does have some detail.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Few words said. Invoking the spirits, they say a few words because of their insert crime here has proved thee to be of jackal blood. Let thy voice proclaim thy true breed. Which I mentions so funny.
It also mentions blowing a handful of dust or ash into the person's face whenever you're targeting this, whenever you're doing this right.
Yep. And that is once the spirits accept it, then
bad things happen to their voice.
It's great. And I love the dust or the ash bit too, because this is a small. It's a small detail. It's a small thing, but can really make a difference when that's being acted out.
Yep.
Because how is that done? Right. To pull some NPCs that we know that maybe some of you might also be familiar with through, some of the show. Someone like Swimming Bird, might take that dust and gently blow, very prim and proper. This is the way it's done. Right. But maybe it's someone like Max, who's maybe just a bit shittier of a guy, where he gets the clump of dirt and just kind of throws it in your face.
Just whips it in your face.
Take that, dick.
Maybe even slightly shittier of a guy is doing the right, has all the dust in his hand, gives you a quick knock to the stomach with his fist as he also blows it in your face, so you inhale it as you go down.
Right. But
I kind of love that, actually.
Right, and there you go, though. So the delivery of it can matter, and you can tweak that subtly, and you should, because it should be based on the personality of who's administering the right, and it's that little thing that maybe sometimes people don't think of. Right?
I could imagine already a scene of you did something during the moot, you think you got away with it, and suddenly you're getting called into the Elder Philodox's cabin. And here you are, they're sitting by a fire, just stoking it, moving whatever's around in there as you're coming here, and they're getting ready to have a talk with you while preparing this rites. Because you thought you were slick. You thought you got away with it. Welcome to detention. And this is where I could even imagine, because it mentions just ash or dirt or dust, what is that ash made from? It could just be wood, or if you want to go a slightly more metal angle, if you get the fire hot enough, bone can turn to really good dust and ash. And just imagine looking into that fireplace, expecting to see just a couple logs burning, and you see a handful of rib bones that are slowly cooking down, snapping every so often.
That's pretty neat.
Damn.
Of course now.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, because it's a good point you made, CJ, doesn't specify what that ash is made of. So now I'm seeing someone like Carver with that big fat stogie sitting in his mouth.
Oh.
And he just ashes in your face.
Yeah. See that?
As soon as you said Carver, yeah, I saw it. Oh, motherfucker.
So it's also a little warm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you little asshole, you're going to talk like this for a while. Take that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, the most unceremonious, unmystic version of that rite of all time. But perfectly fitting for the character.
Yes.
Exactly.
He's sitting there coughing and hacking up that lung, and then finally you're like, oh, I can breathe. But why am I still talking like this? Son of a bitch!
Ooh, you keep that.
Mm-hmm.
Get used to that voice.
Okay.
Not today, maybe. But
No,
you get used to it. We got a game coming up.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm getting punished as you're
Yeah,
going?
well, Falling Leaf doesn't like Ricochet very much.
I know.
And I mean,
A good thing Fallen Leaf's not a Theurge.
Doesn't need to be.
actually, with that is one of the things that there's a section earlier in the 20th core book, I don't know about others, that specifies certain types of rites that are appropriate for other auspices to know, such as your Philodoxes.
Oh, yeah.
These are right up their alley.
Oh, yeah, punishments, yeah.
Yeah, rites are done by all of the auspices, not just churches.
Right.
Correct.
I know some people think otherwise, and that's incorrect.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, the punishments are, I don't know, I don't want to say specifically, but they're geared towards more the Philodox.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for a Philodox to do it because the Philodox are,
The judges, certainly, yeah.
who better to determine if a punishment is just or not than a Philodox.
Go things first.
That
I just wanted to.
there's room there.
It's been a while since we dropped one of those. So I just
Dropped.
yep.
This is one of those punishments that I believe definitely fits more towards the low end of the
Big time.
the crime spectrum of the Garu. You haven't broken the litany per se, but this is more of the you fucked up an actual rite, or you interrupted something important, or once again you're caught in a lie in a story.
Or you've had a couple of minor things that you've done that have really irritated a lot of people, and you're just kind of stepping out of line at that point.
No, in terms of punishment, it's definitely the detention level.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's you haven't done anything major because, and how you can tell this, right, is because it's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only embarrassing.
Right.
The Gyro Nation doesn't, we don't deal with timeouts in the Gyro Nation.
Take your punishment and you live on.
Well, the timeout is not a punishment. Sitting in the corner and thinking about what you've done is not a punishment. Getting your legs broken is a punishment. Why? Because you will heal. You will shift forms and you will heal, and you'll heal in an hour. So breaking your legs is an acceptable form of punishment because it's not permanent. It's just painful. And so because the voice of the Jekyll is not painful, it's just embarrassing. We can tell this is not for a major transgression.
Yeah. But it typically, these rites last at least one moon cycle.
Sure.
So at least 1 month. But could be kept on for as long as the Rite Master or the spirits deem necessary for the person to have learned their lesson.
Oh, definitely. It's not you forgot to put the toilet seat back down level punishment. It's bigger than that. Certainly, I didn't mean to imply, but it's not you led someone back to the cairn that wasn't supposed to be there.
There's other punishments for that.
Yes, there are severe punishments. It's not the stone of scorn. Ooh, where you are chained to a big ass stone and get to drag that around with you for a while.
That's rough.
No, it's not Gaia's vengeful teeth.
Too.
Right? What's Gaia's vengeful teeth there, CJ? Gonna fucking jump the page here, sir.
Oh, I went looking for a specific rite that I couldn't find because it's not in the core book, where I call it Luna's waterboarding. I don't remember the actual name. But yeah, Gaia's vengeful teeth, that's a level 5 rite. This is one of those, the ultimate fucking transgressions. This is, maybe you're responsible for the fall of a cairn. This isn't the death penalty. This is fucking worse. Because essentially, no, you will die from this rite. This is the death penalty, but like I said, it's worse. Essentially, with this rite, when it is performed, you have a selection of Garu who are picked out to be the hunters. The target of this rite goes through this whole fucking thing where every step they take on Gaia is treated as if it's been stepping on razor-sharp silver. And you are chased the entire time until you either bleed out or are caught and ripped apart.
Ouch.
Yeah, there's one from a similar death rite from the Wendigo tribe book, the summon of the Tupalag, where, you die. The end of it is die.
Yeah.
You're deserving of death.
Yeah. I need to look for the rite that I was thinking of, the one I call Luna's waterboarding, because essentially you're tied down, a bucket of pure water is prepared, you're asked a question. You give an answer, you get splashed with the water, and it feels as though you've been covered in molten silver. If you were lying, it's actually treated like molten silver.
God, that's... Ugh.
Don't fuck around, man.
I know.
And once again, these are level 4 or 5. Right.
Yeah.
These are
the extreme shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The summoning of the Tupalag from the Wendigo tribe book is only for individuals who have done like horrible things, like eating people, wolves, or destroying a cairn. Mm-hmm. And that creature is summoned and doesn't stop until it kills you.
I like how they have the balls to include eating people or wolves with letting
them.
The Wendigo have the balls to say that.
Well, that's one of their biggest. That's one of the biggest things that they find as a crime is eating people because they
follow a cannibal spirit.
Exactly, and they don't want to be associated with that, so they definitely.
Except they follow a cannibal spirit,
right?
So it's one of their greatest.
So someone smells bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so we're gonna create a punishment right today.
Oh yeah, let's create a punishment right.
Hell yeah!
I do have one that I cooked up that is a fairly minor punishment right that I did talk to Porter about a little bit. It's a punishment in the case of you have two people who are disagreeing on something and it's becoming enough of an issue that it could cause instability in a pack or a sept.
Okay.
And it's the idea of you have whoever's performing the rite, sets the two people aside, calls upon spirits of judgment, truth, etc. They stand a certain distance apart. They make their declarations, like let's say they're disagreeing on who actually owns this fetish, and neither one of them will give way. And it is a quick fight to first blood. You stop immediately, and whoever's wound doesn't heal was in the wrong.
Interesting.
That becomes a permanent little scar that's going to be there for a while. So it's not something you want to do lightly. But it is that quick. Could be done with claws, could be done just straight bare knuckle if you want to take it for a while and you're being real fucking serious about this or really petty. Or it could be all the way up to a clave. And once again, it's to first blood. And it's ultimately relying on the spirits to be that third party. Because once the rite's done, once the person has healed and the other one hasn't, we know who's right in the eyes of the spirits. They are right.
See, that's where I think, like a tweak to that. Instead of first blood, what if they each states their position and then slashes the other one?
I can see that.
I get to say my piece, boom. There's a cut across, across the chest. You say your piece, boom, you cut me. And then it's the one that heals. Because if it's the first blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other person isn't bleeding. They didn't get cut.
True.
Right.
That is actually a really good way to change this up.
So they both bleed, but one of them heals.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've both been making a problem for the sept. So they both have, the blood that is drawn, but one of them is in the wrong, and theirs doesn't heal for a time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, like, once again, like the various levels of severity of this. Like, if it's just two of you are just bickering over something petty, you could do this to satisfy, who's right, who's wrong. Just a quick scratch, something small, something where if this is a legitimate big fucking deal, then yeah, it's the full claws across the chest in Krytos. Like, we're going to stake our honor on this.
I like that, though. But then again, you're relying on the spirits to decide who is worthy of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's always who's deciding.
Yep.
If the person is deserving of punishment is the spirits. It's never the Garu enacting the rite. It's always the spirits who decide whether or not that individual is worthy of punishment.
The Loromancer tends to be like the middleman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're the one that delivered the information. It's not like a spirit always pops down and goes, yes, this is deserving.
Yeah.
And leaves.
And in my mind, it's that Scar is the actual punishment of it. Not just that you were wrong, not just the spirit said you're wrong, but no, it's that permanent scar that's there.
Yeah.
That's not a scar you're going to tell a story about.
Right. It's not like a battle scar. That's a shame scar.
Shame, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a look at this idiot scar.
Yep.
Might be it. I'll call it the right to look at this asshole.
Yeah.
And that reminds me too.
Oh, no.
You had a character concept before for a Wild West game of a Philodox,
Mhm.
and you called him the Judge. And and now I can see it with CJ's idea here. His fetish with the two guns, and instead of the claws, they each get a gun.
Yeah.
And
I could see that for a very like Glasswalker or Iron Riders
yeah,
flavoring of this.
And where the one that's in the right
yeah,
will fire and the other one won't.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember your character concept was, again, you call him the Judge, be like, whoever's was. Like,
Do you have a big fuck off hammer? Because I'm super into that. I don't remember this at all. So I'm super into this, though.
no, but your character concept was like, again, the finish was the guns. Be like, oh, you think you're right? I think I'm right? Well, let's let Gaia decide.
I don't remember this. You should have taken credit for it. That's awesome.
No, it was your idea. I'm giving you credit.
Now I'm the asshole for saying that, right? My idea is the best. That's really cool. Fucking, I don't remember it.
I'm taking that and I'm adding that to CJ's and I'm putting the little Wild West spin on that. So no, I like that. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And this is where this is, once again, like we're going back to the tribal flavoring. Like, this is totally fucking Glasswalker coded.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Iron
Solarfang,
Rider
Shadow Lord, it's a knife fight or like an actual clave, like Claviskar duel almost. Maybe not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
It may be what they do, right? Because modern times we don't really have the troops to spare.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're like wooden claves.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the one who was in the right, the clave actually cuts.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Or with the bone
Interesting, yeah.
gnars, right? The bone gnars, maybe it's a couple broken bottles,
Yeah.
Broken bottles, the trusty shiv.
right?
Or a bottle in general, and you bash it over each other's head, and the one that breaks.
Okay, that's not a bad idea either.
Well, I think that has more to do with how hard you do it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of stabbing them with the broken bottle, and it doesn't
That's it.
stab.
Mhm.
it's whatever you have on hand.
Whatever item you have on hand to stab each other with.
That's a sentence.
Yeah. I had a bit of a punishment thought of as well. A little more severe than the one CJ came up with. The idea of this one was to be a punishment for somebody who had gravely offended a Cairn spirit, a spirit in general, like an entire brood, or like maybe broke a pact that they made with the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it would temporarily sever their ability to, like if they had spirit speech, it would temporarily sever that ability, as well as make any spirits that they interact with in the Umbra or come near in the Umbra or call upon be almost immediately hostile or like completely go away from them, like not even interact with them whatsoever, making like the Umbra, the spiritual side of that Garu, depressing or like empty for a time as punishment for their transgressions.
I don't like the rite of ostracism, but specifically targeted at spirits.
Yes, that was the idea. The spirits ignore them or are actively hostile.
Well, let's take a second. What the Sam Hell is the rite of ostracism?
So the rite of ostracism is also one of the more common punishment rites for Garu, but it's a little bit more severe than the rite of the voice of the jackal. So it is a punishment for lesser crimes, but it seems like a severe punishment where that individual is ignored. They have to fend for themselves completely. They have to get their own food, find their own place to sleep. People do not talk to them. People do not help them unless it's a life or death situation. And they do it begrudgingly. Like, you get no help for an entire month. You cannot talk to anybody. Nobody talks to you. It's kind of like a cult when they shun a member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like they've been ostracized.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Rite of ostracism. So it's essentially the rite of ostracism, but from spirits.
That's pretty good. The rite of the personal gauntlet, if that's a terrible name. But something, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I was thinking about is something, and I think this is probably for someone who was maybe kind of gluttonous, holding resources or refusing to share them, or something like that. And this would be a rite where, for a particular cycle, all their hair would fall out. And when I say hair, I don't just mean like Danny style. I mean like total crinoform, lupus, all your fur is gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's embarrassing.
Yes. And, also a problem, because now that's going to mess with your senses, because let's remember that, a wolf can feel like a snowflake hit a hair on their body.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to lose a little bit of that. Let's not forget protection from the elements.
Damn. I didn't think about it that way.
Right?
Gonna get a wicked sunburn in any of your forms.
Let's hope it's not done during the winter.
Yeah, super cold for a month. At the least, a month.
It seems to be like, but it seemed like something like, for a transgression against the community on a community level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, it's embarrassment plus inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to just inconvenient. It's inconvenient to be bald for a month. Fucking poor Danny. But
I choose to be this way.
now CJ chooses to be this way. I know what you look like when you don't shave your head.
Hi, this is M with Rage Across the Internet, your favorite Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. Since 2020, here at RAI, we play, research, and talk about Werewolf the Apocalypse. If you would like to support these poor, sad podcasters so that we can continue to deliver you exciting new content for Werewolf the Apocalypse, please join one of our support tiers on Ko-Fi.com. With this, we take a break from our toil and give you all kinds of rewards. Our first tiers give you access to joining our backers chat on Discord and an invite to our monthly bad movie night and our Discord game team. At higher tiers, you get an extra episode each month, like our postmortems, where we break down the scripts of old werewolf games. And at our highest tier, you gain access to our NPC of the month, where Porter writes and sends you a character or location description from his personal Bible. To help support these poor, hard-working podcasters, go online to ko-fi.com/rage across the internet. That's ko-fi.com/rage across the internet. All one word. You will gain access to this month's rewards, and we will turn your name a special color on our Discord, because someone like you really cares. Now, back to the show.
At the Ko-Fi. Come on. Please be cool.
I will say, I just did. M inspired me here for, hers was the Rite of Ostracism, but the twist for it focusing purely on the spirits. I can imagine somebody who's a big enough fuck up that they get the voice of the jackal performed on them more than once, getting a maybe upgraded version where instead of your voice sounding all nasally and everything, anytime you try to speak, it's just babbling. Anytime you try writing something down to communicate, it is unintelligible. It's ultimately, you are there. People can interact with you. People can try and help you. You can try and work with people. You just cannot communicate.
Voice of the infant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or voice of the infantile could also work.
Song of the Petulant Cub.
There you go.
Ooh.
Much better.
I like that. And
Sorry, Song of sounds too good. Like Wine of the Petulant Cub.
there you go.
Yeah.
Making it fancy. My pinky was out and everything.
That's the Silver Fang version.
Yeah.
Because even when you're being punished, it's gotta be fancy.
So this is for someone who just doesn't care about the punishment, so keeps getting the voice of the jackal. So, okay, well, now we need to bump it up a little bit, but it's still not so severe that
This is your second strike.
Okay, there you go.
Or perhaps they've had the voice of the jackal active for a while, and the spirits or the Rite Master have not deemed them worthy to take it off, but they're continuing to be a little asshole.
There we go. Yep, second strike works.
Yep. You've had this for half a year now, and you still haven't learned your lesson? All right, come back.
Yep. Third strike, guy has vengeful teeth.
That's a little extreme.
Ostracism, maybe.
You know what's funny is Guy's Vengeful Teeth is a rite that I have for years, just in my heart, misnamed. And I had always confused it, not on a practical level, just on a name level, with The Great Hunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of it, like what you do during it.
Right.
I always in my brain just called it, I forgot, I got the name wrong. Which is funny, because The Great Hunt is a seasonal rite.
Mm.
Which is one we're going to talk about today.
Which is on the list of shit to talk about today. So it was kind of perfect.
A seasonal rite?
A seasonal rite, Segis, is a rite that is done seasonally. It's very much a holiday. The easiest and most topical one, because thanks to the Timeverse, we are recording this episode on Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Of which the Bone Gnawers have a seasonal rite called Super Bowl Sunday.
Wait, is it Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why Danny was asking me sports questions.
Yeah, Pats and the Seagulls. It's also the Olympics, which is why I'm surprised Danny's here at all. I was going to bring it up in the next episode too, so we'll do that then.
I don't care about either.
What is this rite though that the Gnawers have?
Well, and we talked about this during Walking Wintershins, but the Super Bowl Sunday is basically Bone Gnawer Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just if we're going to do it in a couple words, it's Bone Gnawer Thanksgiving. We don't need more to that. But
it's a formal party, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's that time of year. Let's throw a party.
But this is what a seasonal rite is, right? There's stuff, for the solstice or for smaller holidays. And when we go tribally, something like the Sound Striders, what is it, Feralia? It
sounds like the Strider one where they're jumping between locations, essentially.
Exactly. Yeah, like the Striders. I believe it's Feralia. Yeah, where they have the locations and they jump between them and they run. It's just a big obstacle course, but like I guess a fun run.
Fun run. Nice.
This is super Cliff's Notes, right?
Yeah, it's you get to go places that you might not have been. You get to see people you might not have seen in forever, all while just having fun.
Well, they run, they make the jump takes them somewhere else, and they just keep fucking going. So who knows where you're gonna end up? But again, this goes back to. There's just seasonal rites are on certain days. They can have, but this is a great place for tribal flavor.
For example, the Rite of the Winter Winds. This rite is performed during the winter solstice. So that's like the longest night of the year. For those who don't know what the winter solstice is, Danny.
I knew that one.
Burn.
I knew that one. Oh, I absolutely knew that one.
So this is like, this rite is kind of like a call to Helios to please make the days longer again.
Yeah, long nights suck.
Earlier I had mentioned some of the superstitions with this. Some Garu have a superstition that if this rite isn't performed, that the nights will continue to grow longer and longer until Gaia is in actual pain from worm spawn that are able to just do their bidding all night for the very long night. So it's this is kind of like a rite to call on Helios to make the days a little bit longer so that the worm cannot run so free. So yeah, they dance around in a circle at a bonfire, like a really big bonfire, like absolutely massive. And the Rite Master, they're howling, they're, sad, they're angry, they're doing their right things, right? And eventually the Rite Master dips themselves into the bonfire to grab a burning stick and runs into the woods. Everybody else that's doing the rite also follows, doing the same thing, grabbing a stick, running into the woods, and they make scary noises to like they make scary noises and growl to scare away the worm creatures.
Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Yeah, they run around with the fire, howling and scaring away the worm creatures. And then eventually they come back. They put the branches back into the giant fire, and then they celebrate until dawn.
I just got a flash, right? Running through making scary noises, right? We got the boogie boogie. But then I got that scene from Signs where Joaquin and Mel Gibson were trying to scare away what they thought was like kids in the field. And you had Mel Gibson, I am insane with anger.
You fear me.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Run
weird.
away, worm creatures. I am scary.
It's like, oh no, we need to scare away the night. Go away, night. Go away.
Yeah, this feels weird to me.
Yeah, this one's odd.
Once upon a time, maybe.
Like, this is a tradition at this point.
Right, because there's not a modern day Garu who thinks that Helios is the one responsible for how long the day or night. That can't, I do not believe that. So that has to be strictly tradition at this point.
Yes.
Now, if Helios got pissed off enough and...
But that's a different, that's kind of a different thing though, right? And maybe that's really what it's about, is just appeasing Helios and keeping him happy, as opposed to please make the scary night go away. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, that's how it probably started.
Yeah, exactly. I believe that, yeah. But now, because it's like, oh no, put the passion and the fear. No one's afraid. No one is afraid of the dark, first and foremost.
Yeah.
No Garu is like, ooze, I'm scared. Yeah, they're the thing in the dark to be, they're the thing in the dark to be afraid of.
I just had a thought. This rite probably happened around the time Helios fucked off in the court and Raven had to go bring him back.
Yes.
This could have been, absolutely.
Forget a second scoop.
And nowadays, with it being like done for tradition every single year, the end part after everybody throws their stick back into the fire and like they have a party, they might actually just have a party until dawn, drinking, living it up until the sun comes up.
I mean, that
as
sounds
part
about right.
of the celebration.
Yeah.
I imagine most of these seasonal ones are probably just tradition at this point.
I think a good many of them, sure.
Like, seasonal rites in my mind are the ones that you can, once again, they are the fucking holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly. They're the holidays, they're like the feast days for, like Catholicism and stuff like that. They're less about what it does and more about carrying that tradition on.
There was one that I had seen in the Glasswalker tribe book, I think it was, that wasn't something I would deem as a celebration or a tradition. I think it was called the Little Rite or something along those lines. I could be wrong with the name of the rite.
The average rite?
Anyways, the individual performing the rite would go out and give gifts to a particular thing all day, and whatever was associated with what they were gifting or what they were gifting or who they were gifting, those spirits associated with that would be more friendly towards the sept for interactions for like the next month.
It's Christmas
so
or bribery.
It's essentially spirit bribery.
Why not both?
So you could, the example I think they gave was giving money to those little boys that like give out the newspapers, which we don't have anymore. Like tipping them $100, or I guess you could say like tipping your mailman $100. That's pretty generous.
That's extremely generous.
Super generous. But spirits associated with like giving messages would be more friendly towards the sept for the next month.
Okay. So this is just formalized bribery.
Yeah, formalized bribery was that. It was a seasonal rite of formalized bribery.
Which, right up the Glasswalker's alley.
Yeah.
It's about that.
I thought it was cute.
This is the one where you have the wise guy who's making the exception because, so you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding, blah, blah, blah. I'll do you this favor.
Yeah.
This is that exception. This is that moment where maybe you get that favor done without expecting to be paid back, even though you're thinking you're going to have to pay this back.
Now, we mentioned how with the seasonal rites, how they're very much like holidays. So it's very easy to do tribal versions of these. Of course, there's ones for the nation. There's always more, or there can be more than's listed. In things as simple, and these are like really no-brainer ones, right? But like Fenris Day, Unicorn Day, Pegasus Day. Certainly each tribe has a day where they celebrate their tribal totem.
Sure. Why wouldn't they?
I could even imagine, depending on the importance or history of a cairn, seasonal holidays associated with that specific cairn.
Right? The founding of it, for one, is probably celebrated.
Yeah, like the anniversary or something.
Right?
The funny thing is, as you guys were describing the Rite of Winter Winds, that's one that I had actually never read. I always saw it and thought that's where the Rite of the Winter Wolf was, and I thought it was weird. Because, it's the Rite of the Winter, and then rain just stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had made a rite for my Camp Firehawk game. Very much kind of based off this without knowing it.
Isn't that fun?
Where it's the explanation for the seasonal wildfires in Yellowstone.
Oh, okay.
It's the Rite of Burning Skies, where the Sept spends the entire day, the Theurges of the Sept spend the entire day going around lifting up various groves of trees, marking them as sacrifice. Building up small bonfires everywhere. Every member of the Sept goes to one of them. Whoever's the Rite Master is the first one to grab a branch from it, throwing it at the groves that have been marked. Everybody in the Sept does the same thing. Specific members of the Sept who are of a deep connection to the land jump into the now raging inferno and run with the fire spirits. everybody else runs throughout the night, basically herding the fire to its designated sacrifices. So it's slightly controlled, and eventually you kind of just keep running until you wake up passed out sometime in the morning, doing your dedication to the massive spirit that is that super volcano.
I like that.
That's good. That's good.
That's nice. That's fun.
There's some extra parts about that rite that are specific to that set and that game, but that's the gist of it for the actual seasonal rite aspect.
This doesn't fall under a seasonal or a punishment, right? Take that. But there was one, because we were talking about doing this episode, obviously, and creating our own rites. And this started to me as a tribal rite. It was one that I came up with. CJ, you know what I'm about to talk about. Because I pasted it in a DM because we were talking on Discord, and I needed to write it down, so I just DM'd it to him.
That happens.
It was easier. But this is, I would call this more of a minor rite, but a tribal minor rite. You have things like the, you do the Creed of Glory, and then at the end of the month you get a piece of glory. That's what I said.
Hey, you're right. Sweet.
It's akin to that. It was kind of influenced by that. This maybe is a little more involved. The idea behind this, right, is that this is a tribal rite, and then a little bit of a minor tribal rite, and this is where we could vary. But the idea is this one was particular with the Get of Fenris in mind.
Okay.
And where the government question must find a secluded section of wilderness, and you are to stay there, stark raving naked for 2 days. You offer a chant out to Fenris, something about continuing the cycle or whatever, and the Get will cut his palms, smearing blood on his face and bare chest, and must wait for predators to arrive to feast. Using no violence, the Get must endure and survive the assaults of all oncoming predators until the moon is at its zenith on the second day. Upon doing this, the Get will gain +1 soak for the following month.
Whoa. So he's going to survive without the violence.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight back.
You can defend, but you can't.
Well, but you can't punch the bear that comes at you.
Yeah.
You can avoid the bear. You can run from the bear. You can hide from the bear. You can try to intimidate the bear. But you can't lay hands on the bear.
I like that. That's interesting.
And it's... Did you come up with the name of it and I missed it? Or
no, I didn't come up with the name of it.
But I like that, though.
Something like this being just simply the call for Fenris protection or something along those lines, because it's the proving. You're calling for help. You're calling for that extra soak. You're trying to prove that you are worthy of it. Can you actually protect yourself? Okay, you can. I'll help you.
And that's the thing. That's why you can't use violence, because certainly Fenris, being a mighty war totem, would approve of you fucking something up. But that would be too simple, wouldn't it?
Right.
All the predators come out and you shift the Krynos and fucking stab one in the face and then they all run away and you win. That's not...
Yeah, he already knows you can defend yourself.
Right, you can attack. Exactly.
Yeah.
Prove you can survive and endure, and I will help you survive and endure for the next month.
I like that. Because again, you're giving you're giving the reward for surviving, and it's not a permanent thing either.
Right.
It's only
so something you're going to have
reward.
You're going to have to redo it. Yep.
Yeah. And this is a fun little thing of if you have that one Get NPC, he's gone the day before, his mood phase usually. He's gone for the day or two before his mood phase. Somebody can ask, hey, what the fuck's he doing? Let me show you. And the guy leads you off to this cliff overlooking where this rite is going on.
You just see this guy running from a bear down there.
That's where I can imagine the much younger Fender who's doing this for the first time. They're just running.
Where you get some of those old season ones who are just standing there again, stark raving naked, just screaming at the bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bear's like, "Rah!" The bear's yelling at him. He's yelling back. like not fucking blinking, just fuck off, bear.
Goes to swing at him. He's not really running away, but he's more of doing.
I think he's just standing his ground, and they're just having that stare off.
Oh,
you get the one that's got the mountain lion or the cougar like running at them, going to do the jump and just ducking out of the way.
Yeah, I see that.
Like not doing like the judo throw. No, just fully just ducking out of the way.
Or how about the ones that are doing this in Glabro and let it hit?
Yep.
Because I'm that much of a badass. I'll heal it because I'm in Glabro. But I'll let it hit me. I'll take the hit.
That's gonna hurt.
That guy's a fucking madman, but you don't want to mess with him. But
that's your zealot.
Yeah. You've got one that's done it a couple of times. And so he's trying to do that stare off with the bear, and the bear is kind of like goes for like a hit. And he doesn't move, so the bear is like a little intimidated. Then he goes for another one, and he flinches just slightly because he didn't expect the bear to come in for more. And then he starts getting clobbered.
But I mean, at that point, where I could even see the get judging each other about how they handle the 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he ran. Hendrik ran. He fucking. The bear came and he's like, ee! And he just ran. He's like a little child. It's funny.
Do you see him? He fucking flinched. Deserves that hit.
But he survived.
And I could even see potentially, like, you know, especially for the get who's coming up in rank, you know, going for their rank 2 or 3 challenge. Do the right. Successfully do this right.
I mean, I can definitely see that as a ring challenger saying.
Yeah. I could see it.
I also kind of like the image of, right, maybe you're at the Sept of the Blood Fist and there's a big swordie coming. And, you know, like half of the fucking Sept 2 days prior are not doing bond detail and they're not fucking hanging out. No, they're out in the wilderness, flapping in the breeze, getting their extra soak roll.
Flapping in the breeze.
I could even imagine you're the pack who's here temporarily because you're passing through, you happen to stop in at the boot, everybody's gathered, everybody's telling their stories, you wake up the next day. Where the fuck is everyone? Like it is a fucking ghost town because you have no idea what's going on.
And I was like, why weren't you doing it? Where were you, stupid?
I like that. That's a cool idea.
Thank you. And that's the thing, right, is you can easily come up with different rites like this, and there can be variants for different tribes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most assuredly. You know, I've brought up unicorn several times today, but again, is a peaceful totem, is a totem who abhors violence. You could easily do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Right?
Absolutely.
I could see you taking the same rite, flavoring it just a little differently, removing the bonus, and this is a child of Gaia punishment. You know, that guard who's a little too hot-headed, who's always rushing in at the wrong times. You fucking botched a mission because we needed them alive. You're going to go out here, you're going to get smeared in somebody else's blood, and you're going to have to survive for 2 days. You cannot fight back.
Or, and this could be a little extreme for unicorn, perhaps, but you can't even dodge. You have to allow the woodland creatures to eat you. Granted, you're meant to do this in not your breed form. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it, in probably a day, right, you probably cut that time for the children of Gaia if you're just allowed the right of the smorgasbord, right? And then maybe you get the resist pain effect for maybe the month.
Okay.
Bonar version doing something similar where you're sticking your arm down a storm drain for the little rats to come by and take a bite. And once again, this is a right you can do in public now. Nobody's going to question the homeless guy reaching down there for something. I
mean, that's true. Then, of course, the Glass Walker version is they have to sleep in the alley where the Bonars
do. Maybe the Uctina version, you get bit by some poisonous snakes.
Well, and I mean, actually, I think maybe you turn that into a different one entirely, right? To where the Uctina intentionally poisons oneself and takes goes on a little bit of a walkabout.
Yeah.
Kind of like taking some peyote, but instead take some poison.
Right.
Mhm.
And the difference is the fucking pain and suffering you go through. And the idea of...
Plus the vision quest.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
You know, what the end game of that is, I don't know. I mean, I think these all, here we did the variation with the Chill Nagaya versus the Get Offender. So I don't think the effect should be universal. But you can use that right as kind of a template to go, okay, well, what else can we do? Right.
Perhaps with the Uctina, the poisoning yourself helps you resist worm taint for a certain period of time.
Right.
So you're much more resistant to worm taint compared to others.
I could see it even more, instead of doing something like that, it being like, yeah, no, this is a proper vision quest. You're getting a mission from Octena.
And see, I was going to say we could take that same right and adapt it to what CJ was talking with Grandfather Thunder, asking Grandfather Thunder a question. That could maybe be the Octena version of that, where that vision quest is the answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's multiple possibilities there.
And I think the thing to keep in mind when you're doing that, you're coming up with something like this, is you think about who the totem is.
Yeah.
You think about that personality, what type of totem they are, what type of spirit they are, right?
What things you associate with that spirit. That's why I said at first the poisonous snakes for Uctina. It kind of evolved based on what the Uctina would do. Would they
100%.
actually go and get into a fight as a right? Maybe, but poisoning themselves seems a lot more.
You know, maybe cooking up a brew that is supposed to be as close as you can get to Uctena's actual venom.
Yeah. Or what supposedly, like what the legends say his actual venom is.
As soon as you said recipe, I'm thinking it's the Octena bake sale. These are hell muffins. Try this out.
With that idea, CJ, an Uctina sept, because something I was thinking of, I didn't have anything actually in my mind for these seasonal rites, but you know how you have the spirits that guard a cairn, that help guard a cairn? You could, instead of having like deals with them or like things you do for them to keep them guarding the cairn, perhaps it's a rite you do as that deal to have them continue to guard the cairn. In this case, the Uctina sept could brew up that poison that's supposedly as close to Uctina's venom as you could get without dying immediately or something, right? And the entire sept drinks of it and suffers from its, like, the pain and the visions that they get for a day or what have you. And that's what re-ups that spirit bargain for those spirits to continue to guard the sept.
Perhaps the length is proportionate to the length of time the spirits would be employed.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And again, we're just spitballing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But it's the thing, right? You keep in mind who that totem is, the things associated with the totem. Absolutely. It's the same way that Pegasus wouldn't host a bachelor night.
Yep. Right.
That would be weird.
Yes,
that would
very-
be out of character. Don't do that.
But I could totally see Pegasus being like the host of a fucking Garu baby shower. Like, you know, one of the Garu of the Sept is pregnant now. Let's give the right of, like, you know, the right where you attach a kinfetch to a cub.
But some kind of blessing for the mother as well as the infant growing inside of her, for it to be a healthy pregnancy and for the child to
maybe increase the odds for first change.
That, I mean, I like the idea, but if you're going to increase the odds for a fucking Garu, that's got to be monumental.
Oh,
Where I'm like, that's the legend behind it.
Okay.
Like, this might do it. We can't prove this statistically.
Yeah, no, that's massive. The idea of changing the odds. So maybe not that, but maybe, again, yes, protection for the baby, for the infant. Dumb. But the baby gets an extra soak. Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like the mom's in battle, it's not the, you know, she doesn't have to, what is it, the third trimester she has to stick to a form?
I believe so.
I believe it's the third one. Yeah. So, you know, it's before that. She's in the second, so she could still hop around in forms. So she's out in the battlefield still with the fucking bump. And, a little extra soak to the belly, maybe.
You get to choose your form unless it's a menace.
You still get to choose your form. It just won't end very well.
Yeah, there's consequences to that.
The menace is the only breed that performs its own C-section.
Yikes.
Oh, it's a different type of fur ball. No, wrong side.
Oh no. Again.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously, I think we've just scratched the surface here.
Oh, yeah.
But since we recently put together an epic saga about Fenris's brood.
It looks like all those brood episodes are going to be...
Those are going to be longer ones. Yeah. But fucking, wow, that was an episode.
So congratulations.
We're still reveling about that. Fuck. But that will be our time to cut down on the fucking...
Yeah, and we will have more Rite episodes to come in the future.
Yeah, we'll be talking about more of these. I like the idea of coming up with these rites. This is fun.
This is cool.
Yeah, that was a good twist. I like it.
So, for the time being, we want to take a second to thank our backers by name. So, here's a shout out to you guys in no particular order. A quick thank you to Dundee, Romara, our boy Phil, Angry Operator, Lars, Nicole.
Some more thank yous to Ms. Christie, Redcoat, Case and Snow, C. Grant Rose, Edgelord, Crebo, and Dracoon Stew.
And here's to y'all, Dark Lord Thumb, Ray, Savvy, Ren, Daphne, Joker, and some asshole named CJ.
And last but certainly not least, we would like to thank Strides, Hera Hello, Cathadian, Hush, Madam Badger, and Ash.
Thank you once again, each and every one of you. Your contributions mean the world to us. Your support means everything. And you're going to hear this more often. About once a month, we're going to make sure to do our part to make sure you know how much we appreciate you. We are going to take off. We're going to wish you well. Thank you for listening. And on behalf of everyone here at the studio, I want to say thanks so much for your support and for listening, for being here. And let's make sure we all keep in mind what brings us together rather than focusing on what tears us apart. Take care, be good, and we'll see you next time.
Whatever item you have on hand to stab each other with.